So the first bump in the road has come a lot quicker than we were expecting. We knew along the way that there definitely would be many bumps, but we didn't think it would happen quite as quickly as this. So we're going to give you a bit of an adventure update.
Yes, so over the past few months we have been alluding to a big trip that we were actually due to be leaving on just a few days from filming this.
4 days.
Yes. Months ago we left our beautiful home in North Yorkshire and have come back to our hometown in order to clear out all of our worldly belongings.
The last time we've timed it badly and we have 15 minutes to run to a train station.
For the last 3 months we've just been running around non-stop, selling everything, clearing everything out, making all those last minute preparations before a big long-term trip.
Ready and...
Specifically getting Trevor and Trudy, turning them into these off-road beasts. And after months and months of gear changes and modifications and upgrades and headaches and frustrations, and literally it's only last week where we had some issues with it and now it's sorted and now they're 100%
They're perfect.
ready to go and they ride so nicely.
Yes. It has been so hectic but so exciting as well, just for the prospect of leaving on the horizon.
The kind of excitement is carrying us through. I think
Yes.
without that excitement of a trip at the
Just
end,
there in the distance.
we would have crashed and burned. It's been so busy, but the trip has kept us like pushing through and keeping our head above water a little bit. We've had these never-ending to-do lists where every time we tick off one thing, another 3 things would get added on, and gradually we've chipped away at them and they're almost all done. All of the kind of nitty-gritty, tedious stuff is out the window and we're just onto the exciting parts. And it was just last week which we first started doing the route planning, and that just got us so excited.
Oh, so excited.
Looking at visas, looking at the ferry away from the UK.
Imagining where we'll be riding, the things we'll be seeing, like what we'll be doing, like the landscapes we'll be camping in, like... Leaving barbecue set, we were ready to say our fond farewells, our goodbyes to everyone.
Planning leaving dinners.
It really felt like we've had one foot out the door.
So after a normal doctor's checkup, they took some blood tests and they came back with some questionable results, which actually got sent straight off to the hospital. It's very likely it could be something completely minor or nothing at all, but it's definitely worth waiting around to find out instead of just cycling off to the other side of the world and then finding out along the way that it was something a bit more hairy and having to come back. What makes it a little bit harder is that there's so many delays off the back of COVID that it's very difficult to get a time frame to find out when the consultation might even be. So I'm constantly calling around different departments and different people, getting passed on to different people to try and get a bit of a rough estimate of how long we might be waiting, but it's proving really pretty hard to do.
So now we're in limbo.
Yeah, we feel very stuck.
Yes.
And what makes it even more frustrating is this has already happened once with this trip. Before the pandemic, we were 1,000 miles into this ride.
On the Eastern Road.
And then we got brought back to the UK when it all kicked off about 2 years ago.
Darn COVID. And that's why we spent sort of the past few years in North Yorkshire just trying to have that as our little adventure hub whilst the world sort of locked down.
It was going crazy. We went up to the Green Hills of Yorkshire, and that's where we've been for the last few years. Our time up north was absolutely amazing. We seriously lucked out moving somewhere that we had never visited before. We didn't see the house.
Ever. We just turned up having said, oh, we'll move in.
We moved right onto the edge of the national park and just spent 2 years hiking, cycling, camping. This is our first lunch break. We are in a cloud. Cycled to all UK national parks.
15 out of 15.
We cycled the UK's longest off-road route in winter. The whole time was just filled with adventure, and it was awesome. It really was awesome.
It was awesome, but it was always an in-between stop, and it very much did feel like an in-between stop. I think a lot tamer than the adventure we sort of wanted to be having.
It felt like we were just waiting for the perfect opportunity just to get on the bikes and ride off around the world, which was to be happening next week. And now I guess we're just sitting,
Waiting.
again.
Besides just feeling really frustrated and this adventure itch which really needs scratching, I feel absolutely fine. So on Thursday we're still going to head off on the bikes, but just for a trip somewhere a bit closer to home until we find out exactly what's happened and get the go-ahead from the doctors, and then we can properly set off on our big Eastern ride.
We just want to sort of give an update as to what's going on.
Yeah, because I realised we have been saying from all of these videos about this big adventure east, and now when it's finally about to happen, it's there's a little hiccup. But it's not put us off. If anything, it's made us even more determined and passionate about heading off on this ride.
I'd say it's
properly.
confirmed how much like we both really want to do this.
Because I think it would be really easy just to be like, oh, you know.
Yeah, if we weren't passionate, we'd just be like, oh, let's just not do it. But that's the thing, I think it's proven to us both that, no, this is really what we want to do.
There's no other option. We've really been loving sharing the videos with you guys. So if you want to find out what happens, if you want to see our closer adventures, our further adventures, then we would love it if you subscribe to the channel, follow along, see where we end up, how many more bumps we'll come across.
Yeah, and how many mini adventures we can squeeze in before the big adventure.
In the meantime.
Yeah.